One of my subscribers has asked me to rebuild the Arizona Cardinals, but with the new addition of Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson. But if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and or subscribe. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on this video, and I'll do whatever rebuild the top comment says. But not wasting any more time, jumping straight into this rebuild. Marvin Harrison Jr., he started out as an 82 overall, but in the preseason, he gained 2 XP, and I did give him Superstar X Factor, and these are the abilities I changed him to. Double me, he has honorary lineman, and reach for it. That's just what I have because I gave him X Factor because I genuinely think this guy is easily the best player in the class. Some people will say it's Caleb Williams or whatnot. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. will easily get Rookie of the Year. That's my opinion. And I think he's going to get it because Kyler Murray is a very underrated quarterback in real life. I think he is so good. I mean, I don't think he's the best quarterback in his division with Matthew Stafford being there, Matthew Stafford being a top 10 QB. Kyler Murray, I wouldn't say he's a top 10 QB. I would say top 15 for sure whenever he's healthy. But you don't really see too much production from this guy because number one, he has a bunch of contract problems, and then he has a bunch of staff problems with the staff just not liking him. And then, of course, his offensive line is atrocious. And then until now, he really didn't have a real wide receiver one. Yeah, he had Hollywood Brown that they traded a first-round pick for. And as a Ravens fan, Hollywood Brown is not worth a first-round pick. Yeah, they let him walk to free agency, and now he's on the Chiefs. So he hasn't had like a real wide receiver one since DeAndre Hopkins. I'll admit, of course, DeAndre Hopkins was great whenever he was there. But whenever he was there, he had actually a great run with DeAndre Hopkins, so I think getting Marvin Harrison Jr. will help push the Cardinals further. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team off the rip, but I think they finally won't have a top 10 pick this year if Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray can both stay healthy. And while we're on the topic of underrated, I got to go to James Conner here. He was amazing last year. He had a lot of rushing touchdowns, I believe, or either total touchdowns. Either way, James Conner here, he's very underrated. But the big but here is the fact that he's 28 years old, normal dev in Madden. Maybe he gets to an 85 overall with morale boost at the end of the year. But with that being said, I'm starting Trey Benson just because he's just not going to progress in Madden. And also, someone that doesn't really progress in Madden is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is terrible in Madden simulation. I've never won a Super Bowl with this guy in Madden simulation. I'm going to try it here. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. changes that. But I've always had terrible stats from Kyler Murray. I never have a good season with him. I love him in real life, but I don't think he's going to be good in this simulation because he's never been good in any of my other simulations. Trey Benson, though, my opinion on him, I'm a Florida State fan, but at the same time, I'm not really hype about this guy. I've never really looked at him and been like, oh, he's such a great running back. He was good at FSU. He was nothing that was outstanding, though, if you want to put it that way. Either way, he was, what, a 4th-round pick for the Cardinals? Maybe late 3rd. I don't know exactly. They got Zay Jones once Brian Thomas Jr. wanted the number 7 for the Jaguars, so they cut him off the team, and then the Cardinals got him. And they also had Michael Wilson, so the receiving core was weak outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. O-line is atrocious. Trey McBride, very underrated. Defensively, though, you got Darius Robinson, and I think he's going to be pretty good in real life. I don't know. Some people were calling him an early day 2 guy, but I was cool with this pick. Over Jerzon Newton, though, it was a bit questionable to me. I think Jerzon Newton was easily a day 1 guy, but Darius Robinson, he was profiled as an edge in the draft, but he weighs 296. I think it's around more like 280s, high 280s, but he's 6'6", so he's going to be the starting defensive tackle for now. And they also moved Zaven Collins down to defensive end in real life. I don't know why they necessarily did that. I guess he wasn't that good in coverage. I'll be honest, I haven't really followed up on this guy too much, but he was a 1st-round pick. He was a questionable 1st-round pick whenever they drafted this guy. But they also got Max Melton in the 2nd round. I thought that was a good pick. Jalen Thompson, they also got Budda Baker, Sean Murphy Bunting, Kazir White, very underrated. So I really like this team overall for a rebuild sense, not in real life. They're straight poverty, never even appeared in a Super Bowl. But we're going to try and fix that here today in today's simulation. Trey Benson, we're going to move to the power back. And honestly, I want him at the 3rd down back as well. So we're going to move him there manually, and then I guess we'll have Michael Wilson in the slot. But anyways, apart from that, let's move into the midseason mark. 5-2, top of the division, but don't be fooled. This is how a lot of my sims start out. My offense is ranked 3rd in passing game, 6th in offensive points per game, mid in defense. My defensive rushing game is 24th, but still 5-2, amazing start for the Cardinals if they actually started this way in real life. And we have a breakout running back in Trey Benson, so I guess he was balling last week. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that against Justin Matabike and the Ravens defense in this week. coming off a 41-21 win against the Seattle Seahawks, and there's no player of the week after that dominating win over the Seahawks, but we have to face the 7-0 Baltimore Ravens, so that's going to be a tough challenge. But for the scouting national focus, I think I want to do middle linebacker, but the offensive line is so atrocious that I need to fix it. For the players ready to negotiate, Chris Barnes here. I noticed in a lot of my last videos I was calling him Kyrus for so long. I guess I'm just super dyslexic. I saw the Y before the R, so Chris Barnes, 25 years old, normal dev. It's a cheap contract. He's only 25 years old. I'll do a 3-year, $3 million a year. I'm fine with that. Chris Barnes is re-signed. Greg Dortch, he's young, but I don't really want him. He's my wide receiver 4, and all these other extras here, I just don't really think I'm interested in. Blake Gilligan, actually, he is 25 years old. I thought this dude was in his like mid-30s, I'm not gonna lie. 5-year contract, only $2 million a year for a punter that I don't have to worry about for the rest of the rebuild. I'm cool with that. Zaven Collins, I won't accept his option, but I may just straight up give him a contract if he does produce numbers within this year or the next year. But will we get the breakout challenge for a running back against the 7-0 Baltimore Ravens? We lose to the Ravens 27-24, very close game. I'm fine with that, but did Trey Benson did it? I think I missed the mark on Trey Benson. The guy's got talent, but he didn't do much out there. I mean, it's the Ravens defense. It was an unfortunate week to face them. But anyways, let's move into the playoffs. And we started 5-2 at the midseason mark, and we finished 7-10. My defensive points per game is now top 10 in the league, but my offensive points per game went from being top 10 to one of the bottom in the league, which is crazy, but 21-17 loss against the Seahawks, and we missed the playoffs. Stats and awards, Kyler Murray is just not good in simulation. 32nd in pass rating, 29th offense, 16th best defense. I mean, this isn't horrible in real life. In real life, this wouldn't be a bad season, but in Madden, it's 3,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 93 pass rating. For a guy that I'm paying around like, what, $45 million a year to, I expect more numbers, but maybe I give him another year as a chance, but I am already sure in Madden simulation, he's just terrible and you can't do anything about it. He's programmed just to be bad. And then Trey Benson, 15 touchdowns is nice for a rookie season, but 3.2 per carry is nothing impressive. But something that is impressive is Marvin Harrison Jr. with 91 receptions, almost 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, amazing rookie season. Michael Wilson, 7 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards. Zay Jones, only 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Well, 2 touchdowns, my bad. And then Trey McBride, 2 touchdowns, 500 yards. Kazir White with 111 tackles for a loss, 17 for Zaven Collins with 11 sacks. Dang, he's balling, actually. My God. I'm not going to accept his option. I'd rather just give him a contract, but that's worth superstar dev. BJ Ojolari with a breakout season with 10.5 sacks and 12 tackles for a loss as well. Maybe this is, I don't know if this is superstar dev. Actually, I would actually consider that to be superstar dev, maybe, but Zaven Collins should get superstar dev, and then Sean Murphy Bunting, five interceptions, and then Budda Baker with 3 interceptions. Safeties on the team is 1 for Cameron Thomas and 1 for Dennis Gardek. If I mispronounced that, sorry, but defensive touchdowns is 0. 7-10. Let's move into the offseason. And the Chiefs beat the Packers in the Super Bowl 24-10 as the Chiefs complete the three-peat. Patrick Mahomes wins another Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson wins back-to-back league MVPs. Marvin Harrison Jr. wins the Rookie of the Year, and the AI glitched and gave BJ Ojolari Rookie of the Year, but sure, I'll take it. It's a dev up. In the NFC West, Matt Prater retires. For the team upgrades offensively, Marvin Harrison Jr. is already up to a 90 overall with morale and an extra 2 XP points, so that's amazing for him. No other upgrades, well, no actual upgrades on the offense. Defensively, Budda Baker gets Superstar X Factor, Sean Murphy Bunting gets Superstar, BJ Ojolari gets Superstar. Zaven Collins had 17 tackles for a loss and 11 sacks in a season. It was a huge breakout from moving down from inside linebacker to edge rusher. I think he deserves Superstar Dev here. And for the player re-signings, again, I'm not going to accept Zaven Collins' contract. I would just, on the 5th-year option, I'd rather just give him a contract whenever I can. I wish you would have the option to do that, not like accept the option but pay them out early. We see that all the time with rookies getting paid out in like year number 3 instead of their final year of their contract, and instead of picking up their 5th-year option because they want to just get paid. I'd rather just pay them, but EA doesn't allow that. And then everyone else here are just extras. Let's move into free agency. After free agency, I got Chase McLaughlin, Rashid Shaheed here, and I also got Patrick Peterson on a 1-year deal. It said he has no interest right now, but before I signed him, it said he had max interest, so I don't really know how that works. But we're going to bring him back to Arizona for 1 year just for old time's sake, and I'm going to replace Zay Jones with Rashid Shaheed. I always say Rahid Shaheed, but it's Rashid Shaheed. Pretty sure Zay Jones is only supposed to be on a 1-year deal anyways, and I'll take a cap penalty of this. Why? So apparently whenever you sign free agency players to an actual roster in Madden, not like Madden franchise, but like to the actual roster, then load in the roster, franchise deems it as like a 3-year contract and not 1 year for some reason. So I'm going to extend it to 3 years, and then there we go. That makes more sense. I'm cutting Zay Jones off the team. I don't want him anyways. He was only supposed to be on a 1-year deal, and then Rashid Shaheed will be the number 2. I have a top 10 pick, but do I really go with the left tackle with my top 10 pick? Devontae Knight here out of UCF, 6'6", 308. He looks good, but it's like I can find guys down the board that just seem better. Alex Walker out of North Carolina, 1st to 2nd round. I have a top 10 pick. I'm really considering just trading back and taking Alex Walker because I don't really like my position. I don't really need anything in the secondary. I mean, it would be nice to have someone more than Max Melton and Sean Murphy Bunting, but it's like I don't want to reach on anyone. So I think I'm just going to trade back here. And I have 2 first-round picks. That pick number 20 should be the Browns, so I'm actually going to trade that pick back to the Browns because they should have it at this point. It wasn't the Browns. That's my bad. It was the Houston Texans. So the Texans are getting their pick number 20 back here, and I'm just getting their later 7th round pick in return because you have to trade something. But I shouldn't have that first-round pick to start with. Now I'm swapping pick number 10 for pick number 25 with the Falcons, and I'm also giving up a later 3rd and a later 5th, so that way I can get the Falcons next year's first-round pick. And the Falcons are going to select a defensive tackle, Michael Womack out of South Carolina. And at the end of the first round, I think I'm actually going to go defensive tackle here, and I'm going to replace Nichols, 6'3", 300 pounds out of Washington State, Marco Gregory here. And then he has elite speed, elite jumping, good agility, solid strength, A tackle, B power moves, only C awareness, and usually in the past, every time I take a defensive tackle in the first round, they have normal dev. Let's see if that's true again. It is not true. Hidden dev, 86 strength, 79 speed, 82 jumping, 78 acceleration. Good skills across the board. I'm glad we traded back for him. In round number 2, getting left guard R.D. Curtis out of Auburn, 6'2", 313, 84 strength, 77 jumping, 79 acceleration, hidden dev, and nice A's and B's across the board. Now, this is the team after the draft. A little bit of an improvement in the offseason. I mean, Shaheed here is the same overall as Zay Jones, but we did get a new left guard. Is Paris Johnson listed as a left tackle? He is now. I thought he was originally a right tackle. Defensively, though, Gregory is a 72 overall. I'm going to move him. Do I move him to the 1? I'm going to move Darius Robinson to the 2. Hopefully, Gregory gets some Rookie of the Year or something. Edge rushers are coming along nicely. Max Melton. Do I move him to the 2? I will move him to the 2. Pat Pete is going to play the 3. And then team isn't a huge improvement from the last season, but it's definitely not bad, I would say. Maybe a slight improvement from being a 77 overall to an 80 overall. If Kyler Murray doesn't give me a good season this year, I'm honestly going to move on from him because, again, I know he's bad in simulation. So if I don't get any type of stats, I'm just going to move on and try to pick someone else up on Kyler Murray. And I know Desmond Ritter's a baller in simulation, but that wouldn't be realistic to start him. But anyways, let's move into the midseason mark. And just like I said last season, don't get your hopes up whenever we start 5-2 because it only happens in year number 1. So our offense is atrocious, and I can assure you it's because of the Kyler Murray situation and our running back. It's not because of the playbooks. My defensive points per game is 27th, even though my defensive passing game is 4th and my rushing game is 16th. Scouting national focus, I'm going to try quarterback. It's not even a strength of the class. Maybe we get one in free agency if we're lucky. For the players that get to negotiate, Budda Baker doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like the scheme fit. I don't care. Our defense is actually performing well in it. Paying him $18 million a year. He's staying for the rest of the rebuild. Zaven Collins, let's do player friendly here and do 5 years on his contract, about $9-10 million a year for him. He resigns with the team. I'm cool with that. Nichols can walk. Will Hernandez can walk. Michael Carter can walk. And all these other guys, Kazir White I like, but he's about to start regression. Well, he technically is already starting regression. And everyone else here, including James Conner, can just walk. Pat Peterson, please just retire as a Cardinal. And apart from that, let's move into the playoffs and miss them once again. And of course, whenever I want my team to do bad, they finish 9-8 and miss the playoffs. Like, if you're going to go 9-8, at least make the playoffs, dude. Like, I would have rather be 3-14 and like the Seahawks at the bottom of the division. But I guess improvement. Stats and awards, Kyler Murray, I'm moving on. Back-to-back years, 32nd pass rating in the league, 23rd best offense, sixth best defense, 14 receptions, 24 touchdowns. It's a worse year than his previous year. Like, he's just not the QB of the future in Madden. In real life, I want him to be the QB of the future. Trey Benson, huge improvement from last season, one less rushing touchdown, but still 4.0 per carry, almost 1,200 yards. He's definitely the starting back. Marvin Harrison Jr. with 93 receptions, 1,200 yards, only 5 touchdowns this year. Michael Wilson, 5 touchdowns, almost 900 yards. And then Shaheed with 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. Trey McBride, 7 touchdowns, 500 yards. Max Melton with 109 tackles. I don't like that my corner is getting the most tackles on the team, but sure, I guess. Tackles for a loss. 15 for Darius Robinson. Like to see that. Sacks, 9 for Zaven Collins, 5 for BJ Ojolari, 2.5 for Darius Robinson. Interceptions, 3 for Kazir White. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. And the Chiefs complete the 4-peat here as they beat the Eagles once again. Eagles fans are in shambles. Patrick Mahomes wins, what? Is that 4 Super Bowl MVPs in a row? Lamar Jackson wins 3 league MVPs in a row. And he wins another Offensive Player of the Year here. Well, I don't think he's ever won one in real life. I think it's just been league MVPs. But there are no awards here for the Cardinals. In the NFC West, you have Lakeland Tomlinson retiring with the Seahawks and Kelvin Beachum with the Cardinals. For the team upgrades offensively, Curtis has Stardev, but that's all I see for an actual, dev reveal, not an upgrade. Kazir White goes to start, but we won't be able to re-sign him because he's already like 29. And then everyone else here looks the exact same. So let's just move in to the re-signing. For the players that get to negotiate, Nichols, Will Hernandson, Mac Wilson, Michael Carter, Kazir White. I would re-sign Kazir White for another like 2 seasons, honestly, for the rest of the rebuild if he had an interest, but he doesn't. And everyone else here, I just don't want. Surprised Pat Pete didn't retire, but let's just move into free agency. After free agency, I got defensive back DJ Reed, I got Shaq Thompson at middle linebacker, Jamin Davis at right outside linebacker, and Nick Petonio at left outside linebacker to complete our linebacking core in general. And I think the defense will be looking pretty good, but again, I need to make a move for a QB in the draft. And the Titans are on the clock. I'm assuming they would need a QB. They have Jaden Daniels at QB, so they already paid him. You can see he has $24 million, so I guess the AI just glitched. You can't control contracts. Whenever you make the rookies, you can't change the contracts, so sometimes they come with only 2 years. But they shouldn't take a QB here after paying Jaden Daniels $24 million a year, and they don't take a QB. But will the Broncos do it? We also have pick number 4 from the Falcons, so the Falcons did awful, which is what I was hoping they would do. And what do the Broncos want? They do want a QB. Who do they have? They have Drake May, who they signed for $26 million. They also have Michael Penix. God, I wish you could change contracts before you can actually... You can change contracts in franchise, but you can't change them whenever you import rosters. I literally can't do anything about that because EA doesn't make good games. And they take a free safety. And the Seahawks here need a QB. Do they have anyone? No, they have Geno Smith. They're paying him $33 million, but he's definitely not going to be the guy of the future. Let's see what the QBs are on the board. We have Greg Pearson, Chase Bohannon. Am I stupid? Bohannon, Ryan Page. Those are the only guys I see, but I'm going to look through and see which one I like the best. Elite throw power, great strength, decent speed, good acceleration, C awareness, so he's probably going to start out at a lower overall, but he has nice skills past that. Chase Bohannon here, 6'6", 233 out of UCF. He has great throw power, elite strength, poor speed, decent acceleration. He's more balanced, but he doesn't look as good. This guy, ooh, Ryan Page, very athletic here. Only solid throw power, though. C awareness. I think it's clear that Greg Pearson is the guy here. He's listed as a scrambler after running only a 4.79, 4.75. So that's a bit interesting. Out of Oklahoma as well. So we're going to replace our Oklahoma quarterback with another Oklahoma quarterback. Oh my God, Vikk, you're making an in-the-division trade. Well, believe it or not, I think this will actually help us that Kyler Murray is on a division rival team because he'll just make them suck even more with the stats that he's been producing for me. So I'm literally swapping Kyler Murray just to move up one spot in the draft, and I'm also trading away his contract. I know people are going to be like, oh, you traded away Kyler Murray. I love him in real life, but in Madden, he sucks. Greg Pearson is going to be the new Oklahoma QB for us. He has in dev 94 throw power, 78 speed, 87 acceleration, 87 change of direction, 69 strength is nice, and really nice skills across the board. I hope he wears number 0 for the team. That would be sick. Then I pick 17. I'm picking up middle linebacker Dalvin Thomas here out of Ole Miss. I'm going to move him to left outside linebacker and start him over Nick Petonio here as he's 6'2", 250, hit in dev, 91 speed, 87 acceleration, A awareness, B block shedding. In round number 2, picking up right guard Zach Dawson out of Oregon, 6'3", 320, hit in dev, 88 strength, 81 acceleration, A awareness, and B run block finesse. And then in round number 3, picking up a new center, Aaron Langford out of Michigan State, 6'5", 300 pounds, hidden dev, 86 strength, 79 acceleration, A's and B's across the board. And then in the 4th round, picking up defensive tackle Damian Warner. If you see a late round guy that weighs almost 400 pounds here out of Memphis, I mean 378 pounds, 6'5", of course, out of Memphis, 87 strength, 82 acceleration, hidden dev, I mean F play rec, but B tackle, it should be A tackle. If 378 pounds lays on you, you're going down. And now I'm going to be signing Jimmy Garoppolo just because he has a mentor tag for our new QB. And Pearson is a 72 overall. Desmond Ridder is a higher overall. Clayton Tune, I'm going to cut Clayton Tune just because I want Jimmy Garoppolo being at the number 2, so that way he can get the XP for our new rookie QB. And then Langford's a 73, Dawson's a 72. Honestly, not a bad offensive line. It's not a high overall, but it's not crazy either. And then maybe we should have gotten a better wide receiver too than Shaheed, but either way, he has 94 overall, superstar X Factor, Marvin Harrison Jr., so it should work out for now. And yes, he will be wearing number 0, so that's sick. And overall, his final stats look pretty good. Medium accuracy only at a 75, but I have high hopes for this guy. Only a 72 overall for a number 3 overall pick, but it's definitely not bad. Thomas is a 75 overall. He was projected to be an early 2nd round pick. He was projected to be 2nd or 3rd round pick. Either way, I picked him in the mid-1st round, just like kind of how the Cardinals did with Zaven Collins. We're going to move him to left outside linebacker. He goes up to a 76 overall, so that turns out to be a good pick. And then Sean Murphy-Bunting, still want him at the 1 because he's a superstar to have. Max Melton is going to be at the 3. I like the team a lot. I think the defense has heavily improved, especially in this linebacking core here. We still have depth at the line, specialist-wise. I think it looks good. Thomas, he's not going to be coming off the edge. And I want him over Chris Barnes maybe, but Chris Barnes is a depth player as well. So we do have depth at this linebacker position. 82 overall team. We've improved once again, other than the quarterback position. It's gone from an 81 overall to a 72 overall. And our line, our right guard, went from 80 overall Will Hernandez to a 72 overall, and I think a 75 overall to a 73. But we have youth here, and we don't have a quarterback that's going to screw us, and we don't have to pay him around $45 million a year. So year number 3, mid-season mark. 5-1 with our new quarterback. Our offensive passing game is 12th, but our offensive points per game is 3rd, and our offensive defensive points per game is 3rd. Our defensive passing game, after improving my secondary with DJ Reed, is now ranked at 27th, but my rushing defense is ranked number 1, so that's cool. Scouting national focus, I don't even know what I want at this point. Maybe offensive tackle to fix my right tackle if I don't pick one up in free agency. $119 million to spend. Sean Murphy-Bunting, he is 28, but we might as well just keep him for the rest of the rebuild. He has superstar dev, and he doesn't quite accept just yet. Trey McBride, I'll do player-friendly deal. He's moderate with the team interest. $13 million a year for a guy who's only giving me 500 yards a year. A little extensive, but at least I don't have to pay a quarterback now that Kyler Murray is gone. Jalen Thompson, why not just keep you for the rest of the rebuild? I don't know why Trey McBride's getting paid more than you, but he is. Desmond Ridder can walk. This guy's going to be a baller wherever he goes to because he's a god in simulation. Way better than Kyler Murray for some reason. Jimmy Garoppolo, if I can keep his mentor tag for the rest of the simulation, that'd be cool. He'll most likely retire in simulation though. And Paris Johnson Jr., I'll accept that option. But for now, I want Sean Murphy-Bunting in the offseason. Here we are in the playoffs going 10-7, second in the division behind the Kyler Murray Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, go me. Great decision by me. Either way, we're in the playoffs now without Kyler Murray, coming off a loss to the Packers in Week 18. And from the looks of our team ranks, honestly, it's better. I don't know how our passing defense is ranked worst in the league, but it is. Stats and awards, Greg Pearson here, a lot better than Kyler Murray. Top 10 offense in the NFL without Kyler Murray. 25th defense, I don't really know how that makes sense. So we're 14th in points per game, top 10 in defensive rushing, and 32nd in defensive passing, and it puts us at 25th. All right. Greg Pearson, 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 112 passer rating, way better than what Kyler Murray gave us. Did he just start balling out in the Seahawks scheme? No. I mean, only 5 interceptions, but 95 pass ratings, 17 touchdowns, 3,100 yards. K9 is what I'm assuming the reason is. 13 touchdowns, 4.2 per carry, 1,200 yards. DK did pretty good. Yeah, so Kyler Murray still isn't doing well, despite him winning the division with the Seahawks. He just didn't. This isn't a good season. I don't care what anyone says. Trey Benson with almost 1,300 yards, 4.4 per carry, 17 touchdowns. Great season for him. I think that deserves superstar to have, averaging a touchdown per game. Marvin Harrison Jr., 109 receptions, 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. He is a monster. Michael Wilson, double-digit touchdowns, almost almost 1,000 yards. I think this deserves star dev, getting double-digit touchdowns. He's been pretty consistent for us. Shaheed, only 4 touchdowns, but 800 yards. Trey McBride, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Shaq Thompson with 117 tackles, tackles for a loss, 20 for Zaven Collins, sacks, 16.5 for Zaven Collins, 6 for Darius Robinson, 5 for BJ Ojolari, and then 4 interceptions for Shaq Thompson. And then safeties, 1 for Darius Robinson. Defensive touchdowns is 1 for Elijah Jones. Can we beat Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears to move on to the divisional round with Greg Pearson's very first year? And he does. 24-10. He would have faced a 12-5 Cowboys. We're going to lose because, you know, it's the Cowboys and they're just gods in simulation with Dak Prescott. Yeah, who would have guessed? Let's move into the offseason. And the Seahawks with Kyler Murray win the Super Bowl. They were 3-14 last year, and I traded him away to the Seahawks. Kenneth Murray wins the Super Bowl MVP, so I guess they're running constant like read options or something, or RPOs with Kyler Murray, because his season wasn't good statistically, but he won a ring with Seattle, so I guess that was an L move on my part, but at the same time, like, it was kind of a W move because we made the playoffs and won our playoff game, a first playoff game in a long time, so I don't know if this is an L or a W for us because Kyler Murray didn't really do shit on the Seahawks, but he still won a ring. Dak Prescott wins league MVP. Yeah, that'll never happen. Lamar Jackson back-to-back Offensive Player of the Year. Greg Pearson with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And yeah, so I don't know if this is an L or a W. In the NFC West, you have Javon Hargrave retiring on the Niners. For the team upgrades, Pearson came with star dev, got upgraded to superstar dev. Trey Benson just averaged he had 17 touchdowns. And he had 4.4 per carry, almost 1,300 yards. I think that deserves superstar dev. I mean, it's not an outrageous season, but it's definitely a great season. And then all my offensive line, except my right tackle, has star dev here. Defensively, what do we got here? We got Zaven Collins with superstar X Factor. That's sick to see. Any other upgrades? DJ Reed goes to star dev. Thomas has star dev. And then everyone else looks pretty good. 85 overall team. Let's move into the re-signings for the 4th and final year. Sean Murphy, Bunting. Since he didn't accept last time, I'll just do player friendly and see if he accepts that. He does accept that. Paris Johnson Jr. will re-sign on an option. And then everyone else here I just don't want. But I have $110 million to spend in free agency. We just had a huge free agency. Getting Mark Andrews. I know I signed Trey McBride, but it's the final year. We're going all out. We got Ronnie Stanley. I'm going to move Paris Johnson Jr. to right tackle. Got Jerry Jeudy as a wide receiver too. Got DJ Reader and got Chidobe Awuzie. In the first round, picking up depth at safety because I don't need anything else. Tim out of Auburn. Normal dev, nothing crazy, but his skills did look really good, but surprisingly, only normal dev. And in round number 2, picking up free safety, Caleb Jackson out of Florida State, 6'2", 207, hidden dev, 89 speed, 90 acceleration, 90 agility, B's across the board, F finesse moves, but I don't care because he's just a safety. Now, this is the team after the draft. Looks like the AI picked up this receiver named Bowman, Kawhi Bowman, out of Indiana State. And then we also have Eason here. It's going to be Cam Eason out of Boise State. So I guess they're preparing for the future, but I'm not going to start them because I have Shaheed here. Also got Jerry Jeudy. Trey Benson, I think, has been pretty great for us in the simulation other than his first year. We also have Mark Andrews, of course, for another guy for Pearson to throw to. He's only 78 overall without the boost. And then Shaq Thompson, he's dropped down to a 77. I still want him as the starter. The AI picked up this guy named Barber. Jackson's a 76. And Tim out of Auburn here is a 75. Team looks great in terms of depth. It's an 87 overall. I don't expect it to go crazy, but I definitely don't expect it to be bad. Easily should be a playoff team here. 4th and final season. Let's move into the playoffs. Here we are in the playoffs, 12-5, top of the division with a first round bye as well, coming off a week 18 win to the Raiders. Defensive points per game is ranked 22nd. I don't understand how my passing defense is ranked 30th. I have so much depth and it's honestly so good. It makes no sense, but I'll take it, I guess. And the Seahawks finished 6-11 with Kyler Murray. Take that. Take that, Seahawks fans. Guess who wins in the long run? Me. Stats and awards, Greg Pearson here. Great. Looks like a top 10 QB. 6th best offense in the NFL. 28th defense. Again, it doesn't make sense, dude. Every time I try to find a new scheme that works, it just never works. And then Pearson is 9th for league MVP. And Caleb Williams is on the Rams now. This is 9th for MVP. It's still a pretty good season. I mean, I would say it's top 10, especially for passing touchdowns and passing yards. But 4,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, 10 receptions, 115 pass rating. Trey Benson, 19 touchdowns, 4.5 per carry, 1,300 yards. This could be an X factor. I'm not going to force it, though, but it's a really good season for Benson. Marvin Harrison Jr., 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed finally having a breakout year for us and in his career. 15 touchdowns, almost 1,200 yards. He's going to be a star dev. And then Jerry Jeudy, 800 yards, only 3 touchdowns. Mark Andrews, 700 yards, 3 touchdowns. Trey Benson, 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamin Davis with 109 tackles for a loss, 16 for BJ Ojulari, sacks, 16 for Zaven Collins. I guess he's just a baller. And then BJ Ojulari with 8.5 sacks, 6.5 for Darius Robinson. Interceptions, 2 for Max Melton. Safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. And of course, Kyler Murray continues to suck, dude. And he's never, out of 4 years in a simulation, he's never crossed or even been close to 100 pass rating. I think this is his best, 95.4, 16 interceptions, 28 touchdowns, 3,700 yards, and they finished bottom of the division. Who will we be playing in the divisional round? Please don't let it be the Cowboys or the Niners. Please, please, please. No, dude. Oh, that's so frustrating. Anyways, at least we get home field advantage. Maybe we can get like a momentum early on. Let's move into it. Here we are against the Cowboys. They're going to open up with 7. We're going to respond with a punt. They're going to make it 14-0. Great start offense. Really good job. 7 to 14, 21 to 7. Defense can't hold shit, dude. Offense can't really score that much. And it's 31 to 14, already allowing so many points so early. Can we make a comeback? We do. No way. 31 to 31 here. Get better field position with the punt. I'm honestly just going to run the ball until I get to field goal range. Then I'm just going to finish the game. 1st and 10. We're going to give it to Trey Benson here. Just lead up the field, dude. My left guard needs to move faster. 2nd down and 7. Let's see what we got. Trey Benson with a nice block up the field. 1st and 10. Let's run hurry up until we're in field goal range. Actually pressing here on Marvin Harrison Jr., so that's kind of their fault. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's actually going to be wide open here, so I'll take that. Jeudy across the field, up the field. Just lay down. Don't want him to get the touchdown. I'm going to run out this clock, pin this field goal. 2nd and 8. We're going to give it to Trey Benson to the outside. Benson could have a touchdown, but I'm just going to lay down here. 3rd and 2. Definitely should have got the 1st and 10 on that. That was my fault for doing that, but let's see if we can get it here, and it won't matter. Trey Benson gets the 1st and goal, and that should be the game. 1st and goal, 2 more plays, then we should have a win here. Just get to the outside tackle, and no, Trey Benson, don't fall into the end zone, please. And it's going to leave us with 2nd and goal, and that should be one of the final plays. And the last play could have been a touchdown, but I held back, and we will wait for the clock to wind down to 2 seconds. Chase McLaughlin puts it up and barely threw. I could have shanked that and put us in overtime by accident, but still, we're going to win 34 to 31, and we're going to be moving on to the conference championship. Here to face the 12-5 Philadelphia Eagles to potentially move on to the Super Bowl. Here we are against the Cardinals, and the Eagles are going to, here we are against the Eagles, not the Cardinals, my bad, but still, 6-7 start for us. The Eagles are going to put another 7 on the board here, 14 to 13, and it's going to be 21 to 13 at halftime. Well, actually 21-16 at halftime. We open up half with another 7. Offense is balling right now. 4th quarter, defense, hold on a little bit longer. I don't even think it matters. That should be the game. 42-23 will be your final score as your Arizona Cardinals will get their first ever Super Bowl appearance. Here to face the 10-7 New York Jets. And I'm assuming their new QB is one of the rookie QBs. It is Bo Nix. I always guess right because, again, you can't change the contracts. If you can extend them to 5 years, I would extend them to 5 years because a lot of the players would have a 5th-year option. But I can't change the contracts because EA makes shitty games. They won't even update the game, and they won't even allow their players to update the game. But either way, Pearson here gets Superstar X Factor. Trey Benson, unfortunately, no X Factor. Shaheed here gets Star Dev, which is awesome. O-line looks great. 90 overall team. Defensively, Sean Murphy Bunting goes up to Superstar X Factor. There are no other upgrades for the team. But we're here in the Super Bowl. For the first time in franchise series, we have appeared here. Can we be 1-for-1 in the Super Bowl here against the New York Jets? Here we are against the New York Jets. They're going to start out with 3. We're going to start out with nothing, and then they're going to do nothing. I guess they turned over the ball. 3-3 game here. Slow start for both teams. Then we're going to make it 6-3 at halftime. Nobody's scoring anything. Still 9-3. Finally, the first touchdown gets scored here. Defense is balling for us right now. Yeah, that right there, that is the 25th ranked defense in the league, holding the Jets to only 3 points. Screw you, Bo Nix. We got Greg Pearson, no Kyler Murray, and this will be a successful rebuild for the Arizona Cardinals. Your Super Bowl MVP is a defensive player, as it should be, only holding the Jets to 3 points. Sean Murphy, Bunting, Patrick Mahomes wins another league MVP, and there are no other awards here for the Cardinals. But anyways, guys, I thank you guys all for watching. Let me know which team you want me to rebuild next. And it says 2-time NFC champion. Have the Cardinals appear? No. I'm so stupid. I'm sure plenty of people have called me out. It is the second time the Cardinals have appeared in a Super Bowl. They've never won a Super Bowl. My bad. I think I got them confused with the Lions. The Lions have never appeared in a Super Bowl. The Cardinals, of course, lost to the Steelers in the Super Bowl. I'm sure there's plenty of people that have commented about it. You can delete your comments now. Sorry about that. But anyways, apart from that, let me know which team you want me to rebuild next, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.